Hey everyone, how's it going? So we ended our last video doing our first mock Swiss round with the new team that we've been working with. The team has some solid potential. I think when I first tried it, I just was not in the right headspace, but I'm kind of figuring it out now and getting the best pilots that I can do. So I wrote down a little bit of like a match review kind of analysis from that Swiss. And so I think the first one was Typhlosion Cores. We should be bringing Ursaluna into the Trick Room setup turn because the ground typing can kind of help negate any like either Charizard or Fire type sweeping highly offensive team. We could also do an After You into Overheat as well with Torkoal Lilligant. We also wrote down we're pretty, again, vulnerable on that high offensive spread that we were talking about. That's a big one. This was another one that, like, when we see those highly offensive ones too, where we see like a Scarfed Goldango, like we should be locking in Gallade and kind of like spamming Wide Guard as much as we can. Another thing that we go into as well, and it's something that's going to be the main topic for today's video, is just like going against Wide Guard. There were a few games that I got stalled out with when I was watching the reviews where just like Wide Guard just completely stalled out my team. So when we're in those situations, we're going to try to bring Ursaluna and Gallade into those. Another one is just sometimes leaning too heavily into Trick Room, sometimes leaning not too heavily into Trick Room. A good thing though is that like when we do commit to one, we are showing that we can bounce in both directions when we need to. We don't need to always commit into the hard Trick Room, and also especially Hatterene as well. We can do more Gallade combos, and that's kind of what we're going to try to do. Another thing that we wrote down was like a bit more reset plan that we got. Like when we hit the mid game and we kind of get stalled out, we kind of lose it. And just counterplay, especially when we're trying to like start a team and we do like, like After You Eruption. And if we go into Trick Room, like show a bit more flexibility if one of those gets completely stalled out. And so that was what I wrote down, and then yesterday I did get kind of the itch to do another one. So I did do another Swiss, I didn't record it, because I kind of was just doing it at weird times, but we went 4-4 again, when we did this Swiss, this time around. And what I wrote down this time between that was I wanted to at least notate between the different leads that we were using what granted us the most success. And weirdly enough, every time that I led Torkoal Lilligant, I won the game, which is pretty awesome. Keeping Gallade in the back, we incorporated more Gallade into our work, and keeping Gallade there in the back was pretty strong and kind of helped us early in the mid game. One of the things that I was trying to do was use more Gallade and really understand how to use it. Oftentimes I was leading it when it's not really a leading Pokemon. It doesn't really do anything there unless I'm wide guarding. And also Hatterene worked better in a mid game as well as a Trick Room setter. Again, another thing that I'm trying to work on is just seeing like, as we're learning, we don't have as much experience as like a lot of other people do. So a big thing that we're leaning on is like, okay, am I winning or losing because I'm not clicking the right button, or am I just not reading their team correctly? And I think that's a big differential in a win or a loss on a game. Is like, did I bring the right Pokemon? Did I identify the right win condition on their team? And so practicing that drill in our head is proving to be functioning. Most of the wins that I got were from me immediately figuring out what their team was and going after it. I had a bit of a difficulty against kind of like a lot of disruption teams, things like a fake out pressure with both Rillaboom and Incineroar. And I also went against a team that had Gengar. and using Cursed Body, and that was really hard because he was running like Taunt, Encore, and then Cursed Body. It's really annoying to go against. And one of the things as well that I wrote down was that we would often Terra offensively, and it worked in our favor. But there were a few moments where we could have Terra'd in the defense, and that could have helped us out a bit more. And that's something that we'll work on. But for today's video, this is going to be a not my normal content that I'm doing. This one's going to be a bit more of a piloting drill that we're going to be exercising on today. So the theme for today's piloting drill is we're going to be working on wide guard and setup discipline. So this is something that I wrote down last night of something that we're going to do. So the first thing that we're going to do is in the scouting phase, we're going to ask 3 questions. What's the win con? Do they have wide guard? And what's their setup threat? There are often times where if they do a double setup, I will respect one of them, but I won't respect the other. So writing that down for each game that we do. In match, if it's a wide guard, we're going to open with the single attack. If setup exists, we're going to double into a setup mon at least once during a 3-turn phase. And then we're going to do 6 best of 1 games. So we're not going to do a best of 3 in this category. We're going to do it as best of 1s. And then finally at the review, I'm going to ask myself a few questions. So did setup Pokemon get a free turn at all during that situation or not? Did I attack into a wide guard blindly? This happened a lot yesterday. And then the last one was my lead correct, in how I lead those. So if we're going to go ahead and start asking ourselves that question, I'm going to go ahead and prep at least on game 1. I'm going to quickly write down those questions. So game 1, we're going to ask, win con, and then wide guard, and then I probably should have wrote this down before the video. Oops, you can skip ahead. And then setup threat. Yep. Right? So we'll start there. I'm not going to write down in match. That's a turn-based thing. So let's get into it. So new background. I just kind of got tired of the other one. It was a bit more aggressive. I'm looking for something a little bit more chill right now. So again, we're going to do Reg H, best of 1. Alright. What is their win condition here? Charizard specs for sure. And then probably Trick Room on Mimikyu. Trick Room, Ursa, Torkoal, right? So again, what's one of the best ways that we can handle this, in my opinion, is we can lead, when we talk about those heavy disruption teams that we're talking about, we can lead with, trying to utilize Gallade as much as we can. So what I'm going to do is at least just do Lilligant Torkoal, and then we're going to do Gallade Indeedee. I'm expecting a Charizard to come out. Okay. So I think what we can do here is at least pressure into so wide guard, no. Setup threat? Maybe. I don't think so. I think I can move first here. I don't think Ursaluna moves. Sleeps Torkoal. I guess, yeah. I was expecting a Tailwind, but that makes a lot of sense. Let's get a close combat in on Ursaluna here. Just to proc that. I think that was good damage. This is perfect for me. I did want them to go down at the same time. I would be a little concerned if I was him, so I'm going to Trick Room Wide Guard. And again, I had a feeling he'd Earthquake because he's a little nervous. So I think we can Dazzling Gleam Wide Guard. Or I think he might expect the Dazzling Gleam again. So let's just follow me. And just in case he Terras, or did he already Terra? I don't think he's Terra'd yet. It doesn't show. Maybe he did Terra. We can Psycho Cut. That was tough. I think we can throw in a Psycho Cut into Jump Bluff. Yeah, I think we'll lose this here. Yep. Okay. But these aren't necessarily about us. Like, we didn't have team sheet. We couldn't really know these things. But I think what we did that worked was I answered those questions. So again, we did Wide Guard a few times, and that was our first game. Did Setup get a free turn? I don't think so, to be honest. No Setup free. No blind Wide Guard. Correct lead. I think for all our sakes and purposes, that was a great game. And just so I can just look back at this later, I am just logging these. Game 2, here we go. What's their win column? Do they have Wide Guard? Setup threat. Let's see if he will open team sheets. Because I do want to. So do they have Wide Guard? I don't think so. Do they have Setup? Yes. Sneasler and Goldango. So part of what I like here is actually bringing in Lilligant Torkoal and then swapping Torkoal out for Indeedee for the fake out control. No, I don't know if he is he Grassy Seed, so he could Nasty Plot right now. And he could Terra Water. Interesting, no Fake Out. And that was just amazing. I think he'll probably put Protect on Ninetales. Let's Close Combat. Reset Terrain. I don't think he has anything that could kill me. Oh, he forfeited. Okay. So yeah. Textbook. No setup. No white guard. Correctly. Just happens. So game 3. WinCon is it could be Torkoal, Charizard, or Ursaluna. This is an interesting team. Wide Guard, no. Unless Armarouge. And then Setup Threat. I don't think so. Trick Room. I'm just gonna write down Trick Room. Alright, so I want to bring actually a Gallade as my first slot. I want to bring Indeedee. I want to bring Hatterene. And I want to bring Ursaluna. I think what I'll do here is I will Wide Guard. And I will set Trick Room. Interesting. Nice. He does have Wide Guard. Okay, so what do we do in Wide Guard again? We have to swap, and we will Terrifier. And just follow me, just to take that damage. So he does have Wide Guard with Armor Rouge. I was like, unless... That was just me being a bit silly. And Ursaluna's, or Torkel's faster in that situation. Okay. So I think he played that better than me. So... Yes, I did go blindly. I'm going to say that was an incorrect lead. And no setup. WinCon, what is it? I think it's, this is a bulk team. It's going to be Dragapult. King Gambit. And then whatever that thing is, Komomo. Wide Guard? No. Setup threat? Yes. So again, Lilligant Torkoal and DD Gallade. Doing after you. We have Sash. He's gonna bring out Fake Out Pressure. Probably running safety goggles on Incineroar. I'm thinking he's going to switch out Incineroar. And honestly, I think the Terra Fire for the defense against a knockoff is the right call. Yes. Let's give our pal a helping hand. And if I'm correct, that might take out Incineroar with a helping hand. %. Okay, so it just did. Let's do a Dazzling Gleam. Nice, good call. Let's just follow me, Psycho Cut. So I'm gonna say yes. Or no setup was given. There was no wide guard. And I think we led correctly. Alright, let's go into game 5 momentarily. Oops. Yeah, bulk team, baby. WinCon, King Gambit, Ursaluna, Sneasler, the Moxie, sure. Oh, Intimidate on Scrafty. Okay, wide guard? No. Setup threat, yes. Okay. Again, I think one of the easiest things that we can do here is Torkoal, Lilligant, Gallade in the back with Indeedee. It just is the most proven fundamental of what we can do, especially if we do try to coach King Gambit. So after you, my friend. And we'll Terrifier for the offense here. I don't think he can handle how fast we can sweep. That's fine. He does Kowtow Cleave. I still do a ton of damage. You can't fake out next turn. I will now, after you, Eruption. We'll take Torkoal out here and then add in Lilligant, or add in Gallade. Let's get a Solar Blade down and just cash out. Okay. Interesting. I think we Solar Blade. No, we can close combat realistically into Ursaluna, and then I'm gonna wide guard. Good wide guard usage. He knows protect. I think he'll protect it this turn. I think we could do a close combat there, and let's also do a Sacred Sword. So now we have a classic follow me trick room that we can do late game. And now we can bring in Torkoal. We can get a Psycho Cut off, and we'll Psycho Cut into Amoonguss. That's my biggest pressure right now. That's why. Oh, man. Alright. No setup. No wind guard. This drill isn't really a good idea. I think we led correctly and then lost in mid-game. Alright, let's just do a quick game 6, and then I'll do an analysis off stream, and then we'll kind of review it tomorrow. I have no idea what this team is. These Reg H best of ones are always so weird. WinCon, probably Sizer. Or Scissor. I don't know what you want to call them. And you reject team sheet. So this is a gimmick. Wide guard, I think so. I think Milotic. I don't know every single Pokemon that can know Wide Guard, but I'm guessing Milotic knows it, just because it's Milotic. Setup threat, I think Cramorant is the... We're going to Lily get Torkoal, like... And then we're going to Ursaluna and Didi. Interesting. Again, like, I don't know these teams, like, and it's not like they're being used in tournaments. Not that it upsets me, but it's just like, I guess I'm trying to get something else out of this. Okay. I guess you do have Wide Guard on Mienshao. Yeah, this is stupid. I get a free Swords Dance. But he's gonna fake out, so does it like really matter? What does this Mienshao know? Close combat, Wide Guard, and fake out. So another fake out come on my way. Like, I don't know. Like, he'll just fake out pressure until I lose. just like, dude, this is so. It's hard to do this in like a. I needed the replay from that. I'm so dumb. I just don't like people that reject team sheets when they know they're running something off meta, but it's fine. Was this a good drill? Ultimately, I think so. I think we at least learned how to wide guard a bit more, and like if anyone tried to set up, they didn't. There's a few wide guard misplays, but I genuinely had no idea that they could no miss wide guard. But then after they did it once, they weren't able to do it again unless I forced them to. So that'll be it for today's video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.